Thursday, after award-winning fame, it's Gimme a Break. Will the chief station go down the drain when Mel takes over? And what is it about Diane men find irresistible?
You're not wearing a bra, are you?
Cheers! Then for those who can take the heat, try to handle Hill Street Blues.
Thursday.
This is Robert D. Anderson, one of the 2,500 Americans missing from Vietnam. He answered our country's call. Now he needs our help. Write to Vietnamese. Ask for an accounting of Robert's fate.
Your call will be right down, sir. Uh-oh. Better get Mako.
From crashes, dents, and rust to a great paint job, Mako brings your car back to life, all for a price lower than you'd expect. And accident claims, it's all part of the job at Mako. So when you have an uh-oh,
Better get Mako.
Watching television is becoming more complicated. Every week, there's local programming, network, cable, and pay TV. All those channels, all those shows, all those choices. To help you watch the best that's on, pick up a copy of the best, TV Guide, with detailed listings, expanding cable coverage, and in-depth articles. Pick up this week's TV Guide. TV Guide helps you decide.
He's in town. Watch for him on 11 News.
Due to a lack of a lunar eclipse, we will begin with briefing books, politics, and other unhealthy pastimes.
And dispatch them as speedily as possible so we can move on to the real story. That tonight we are 1 year old, and yes, there is a party. And we have bought the present, an anniversary edition of Overnight.
The debate about the debate continues with some curious contradictions among the president's men. It is clear that some papers pertaining to Carter campaign strategy for the debate got into the Reagan campaign. Richard Allen, Mr. Reagan's former national security advisor, remembers getting the material, but says the Reagan campaign was an honest one. James Baker, the White House chief of staff, said he remembers getting some papers from William Casey, who was Mr. Reagan's campaign manager then and is head of the CIA now. But now it gets more complicated because that is not what Mr. Casey is remembering, not at all. In a story in Wednesday's New York Times, Mr. Casey denied all knowledge of any papers and said he wouldn't have touched something like that with a 10-foot pole. Mr. Casey spoke briefly with TV reporters Tuesday, as did Mr. Allen. Begin with Casey.
Will you be talking to the FBI, sir?
Oh, I'll talk to anybody who wants to.
No, have they asked for your...
I haven't heard from them, no. I'll be happy to talk to them.
Right, okay.
I've asked everybody to send in all the information I have.
Is this New York Times article based on any new information that you supplied, or is your memory still vague on the specifics?
Well, you know, my memory isn't all that vague. I've been very specific, saying that I know of nobody was ever tasked to get inside information. My memory isn't that bad. As a matter of fact, my memory is quite good. And I think anybody who says they handed me anything that is probably mistaken.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I know nothing about the origin or the provenance of that briefing book. I knew of its existence. And I never bothered to ask, or never had the opportunity to ask, how that briefing book came to the campaign staff. I indicated that I thought that its use, or at least I felt, I should say, that its use would have been highly unethical. Moreover, it wasn't necessary. We operated according to high ethical standards in that campaign, and we didn't need it primarily because the candidate was so well prepared.
While the debate over the campaign past went on in Washington, the campaign future was on the minds of those near the president in California. Mr. Reagan spoke in Los Angeles to 2,340 delegates of the American Federation of Teachers, one of the teachers' unions. The subject was education, but it was hard to tell. Since the union and the president do not agree, and since the union has said it will not support Mr. Reagan should he choose to run, one might wonder what each got from the other's company. There is an answer. White House correspondent Andrea Mitchell reports.
The teachers had been warned to be polite to the president. Many even applauded. Union President Albert Schechner had told them if they booed Mr. Reagan, it would make him look good. So those who wanted to protest did it quietly by walking out. The president was prepared.
Of course, we have our differences, and both this administration and the AFT believe in the benefits of vigorous debate. And that's what living in an open, free society is all about. We both made our positions well known, and I'm not here today as a salesman trying to peddle a prepackaged, all-purpose, off-the-rack education program. I am fully aware that there are some major areas where we disagree. Matters like tuition, tax credits, and vouchers.
Mr. Reagan tried to win friends by attacking the much larger National Education Association, a rival union.
I also want to commend the AFT for its recognition of the need to upgrade math and science education and for its ringing condemnation of those organizations, one of which I referred to earlier, who would exploit teaching positions and manipulate curriculum for propaganda purposes.
There were scattered hisses when the president mentioned merit pay, which members don't like. Those who walked out said they were also protesting budget cuts.
Kids are being deprived of educational resources and skills that they need and that they had before he took office, and he has no credibility to talk to us about education reform.
Union leader Schechner wasn't won over, even though the White House has been courting him.
I think he's got a pretty good understanding of how strongly we feel about these issues.
And in Philadelphia, the National Education Association president said Mr. Reagan was playing politics.
That he is using the crisis to divide educators, to divide the public, to divide the education community.
Despite criticism of the president's education policies, White House officials feel the issue is good politics. The polls say the public supports Mr. Reagan when he's beating up on teachers and complaining about poor schools. His aides have told the president to gloss over federal budget cuts, something the public does not like. Andrea Mitchell, NBC News in Los Angeles.
Across the world, in Moscow, the talk was of another, perhaps more important subject, the limiting of nuclear missiles. What was said was supposed to be said on Monday in a meeting between West German Chancellor Kohl and Soviet Premier Andropov. But Premier Andropov did not show up. His health has been reported as less than good. Apparently it was improved on Tuesday. Tim Sebastian of the BBC reports.
The two leaders were seated before photographers went in, but the Germans said the Soviet leader had looked frail when walking. Mentally, though, he showed no sign of strain. Nuclear missiles were high on the agenda, so was a Soviet warning about the consequences of NATO deploying cruise missiles. The smile disappeared, and Mr. Andropov told the Chancellor the military threat to West Germany will be multiplied many times. Dr. Kohl, it seemed, had expected that position. He'd come to tell the Russians NATO is firm, unified, and ready to deploy. All the same, he added, we're not missile fanatics. The Russians have toned down their welcome to Dr. Kohl. Pravda didn't print the customary arrival photograph, and it cut unusually large sections of his speech last night. But that only underlines the sensitivity and importance of the Chancellor's mission. He's so far the only major Western leader to visit Moscow this year, and he's probably the last to do so before the planned deployment of NATO missiles. If the two sides break up this time without progress, a significant opportunity will have been lost. What they hope to do is give some impetus to the flagging arms talks in Geneva. They both insist agreement there is still possible. They don't say how. Many hopes are pinned on a summit meeting between Presidents Andropov and Reagan. Without it, success in Geneva seems even more doubtful. All of which adds urgency to Chancellor Kohl's short stay in the Soviet Union. For the moment, each side is waiting for concessions from the other. Any breakthrough under these conditions is likely to be a small one.
Since Eddie Murphy is a fan of Richard Pryor, and Richard is a fan of Eddie's, People magazine brought them together for 3 unpredictable days that might lead to a movie. Next, the Scandinavian beauty who'll be crowned Princess Daisy in the NBC miniseries.
Then People shows you fashions that'll make beaches beautiful this summer, a gallery of Rhodes Scholars, Chris Atkins' roundabout journey to his new role in Dallas, and Willie Nelson's daughter singing on her own.
So pick up this week's People, for yourself, for your family, and read what happened when People had Murphy visit with Pryor.
In the Black Forest, where dappled sunlight reflects on chilling waters of the Rhine, there is a Black Tower. Black Tower, the brilliantly distinct white wine. Light, soft, with a golden burst of flavor from a happy mingling of grape and earth and sun. Black Tower, the imported white wine, in the towering black bottle. Because the taste so impressive, the bottle had to be too. Black Tower, the white wine in the black bottle.
Smog and pollution can trigger bronchial asthma attacks. Be prepared with Primatene Mist. Primatene, the fastest type relief known for occasional attacks, restores free breathing in as fast as 15 seconds. Or, to keep breathing freely for hours, Primatene tablets. In the lungs, Primatene opens clogged breathing tubes, relaxes bronchial spasms, restores free breathing. Primatene Mist, the fastest type relief known. Primatene tablets contains the asthma reliever doctors recommend most.
In the beginning, man struggled to carry food and drink. Then Igloo created the Playmate Ice Chest. It was easy to carry, and it carried a lot. Playmate by Igloo, built to survive the real world.
It is comforting to think that in war there are only two sides and one cannot be on both. Comforting, but not always accurate. Klaus Barbie, as we have reported, is awaiting trial for war crimes he is said to have committed while the Gestapo chief of Lyon, France. After the war, he had a second career, it seems. He cooperated with U.S. agents in Europe, apparently for a price, which accounts for his disappearance to Bolivia, where he hid until this year. So far, this story is reasonably well known. But how did he flee Europe? The man who knows the answer to that has not been in hiding, far from it. But spiriting accused killers out of danger is not the kind of thing one talks about unless asked. And nobody did, until now. Correspondent James Polk reports.
This is the man who smuggled accused Nazi war criminal Klaus Barbie out of Europe. Former American intelligence agent George Nigoy, now retired and owner of a basement coffee shop in a CIA building in Arlington, Virginia. When France wanted the U.S. Army to return Barbie to stand trial in 1951, Nigoy was called in to use his underground route, called the Rat Line, which he had set up for Soviet defectors. Nigoy said Army intelligence told him,
"This man has got to leave Germany, so would you and could you get him out here?" I said, "There's no problem. We'll be glad to get him out for you." I asked no questions because, again, remember, this was okayed by my headquarters and okayed by the headquarters in Germany.
Nigoy, then a civilian agent with the Counterintelligence Corps, said he was not told who the man, his wife, and 2 children were.
They were like scared dogs, for that matter. He was pretty fearful, frightened, didn't know what was really going to happen to him. He was set up, he felt that he didn't know where he was going to go, what he was going to do. We told him it was going to be South America, somewhere.
He said he obtained false identity papers for Barbie as a displaced person under the name of Klaus Altman.
That's what he traveled under the name of Altman. During that period of time, the displaced persons had certain documents. It was a cover document. I believe we called him Mr. X. That's the way we used to put people through.
The escape route was simple: by automobile from Augsburg, Germany to Salzburg, Austria, a short wait in a hotel for the false papers, then by train to Genoa, Italy, where Barbie would board a ship for Bolivia.
It was Altman that I took across, and obviously now Klaus Barbie.
It would be 32 more years before Barbie would be returned to France to face trial. James Polk, NBC News, Washington.
There was another side to World War II. In the midst of all the hatred and the evil, there was romance, friendship, patriotism, and honesty and love. Those memories, some bittersweet, were recalled Tuesday by folks who lived through the days of the Second World War when they heard that Harry James had died of cancer at the age of 67. His spectacular trumpet solos and the precision of his wonderfully big band were part of that era, and his music is part of the American national memory. Fortunately, Harry James did not consider himself a monument. He was a musician, and he was playing real fine right up to the last month.
He toured with his band about half the year, and he played Las Vegas the rest. Among his discoveries, Frank Sinatra.
I would work for nothing to do these records, because it's such a beautiful feeling to hear them. And like the first album we did for these people were nominated for a Grammy Award 2 years ago, which is kind of good, you know, for a guy that's been around for 40 years.
When Hollywood made a picture about a man with a horn, Kirk Douglas played the man, Harry played the horn. He was the envy of every GI in World War II when he married
Theater in Overland Park, Illinois. They are showing Return of the Jedi, which is what they're hoping for, precisely. After the last show Monday, the projectionist was walking to his car when a gunman forced him back inside and told him to turn over the print of the film. He did. The object is assumed to be piracy. There was more news Tuesday, and here is some of that on a reel.
For 16 years, the Nebraska State Legislature had employed a chaplain to pray for it before it began work. And on Tuesday, the Supreme Court ruled that did not violate the required separation of church and state. Chief Justice Warren Berger, who wrote the 6-3 opinion, pointed out the Supreme Court begins each morning with the marshal asking God to save the United States and this honorable court.
They were only polite at the airport as Secretary of State Schultz arrived to try and persuade Syria to pull its troops out of Lebanon. Israeli forces won't go until Syria removes its men, and the prospects aren't good. The lack of ceremony, a sign Schultz is not likely to change many minds. He will meet with Syrian President Assad today, Wednesday.
Last Saturday night, a man walked into a grocery store in Tampa, threw gasoline on the shoppers at the checkout counter, then set them afire. More than a dozen people were hurt, and 3 have died. One was buried Tuesday. Another, a 4-year-old girl, also died on Tuesday from her burns. 30-year-old John Billy Ferry has been charged with the crime. According to his brother, a crime which might have been prevented.
Best I can make out of it is he's a schizophrenic. For 5 years we've been trying to get help, and the law tells us we can't do anything until he's actually committed a crime.
Two sisters who were separated in 1950 by the Korean War and who have now found each other on television. It's part of a marathon show Korean State Television is broadcasting. The original plan was to run it for 2 hours, but the flood of phone calls has been so great that it's preempted most of the regular broadcasting for a week. 1,100 families have been reunited. About 10 million people lost their relatives during the 3-year war.
Now be kind, they're dancing for charity. I'm told it's to get support for the Child Abuse Council, and the way they have chosen to do this is to tap their way around San Francisco. A 4-mile routine with special steps for different surfaces. It is an annual long-distance tap dance. The group is the San Francisco Super Tappers, and if nothing else, this gives you an idea of what kind of news day it was.
Thinking of painting your car? It's Auto Renew's June-July painting sale. Change the color of your car for only $177.77. Any car, any color. Free estimates on your dents and rust. Auto Renew honors all your insurance claims. Hurry to Auto Renew for your complete paint job at only $177.77. We're under the Smile at 867 North Dale. Call 488-5529. Come in today for good service with a smile.
Friends, when you talk about buying a brand new car from the giant, Viking Chevrolet, Minnesota's finest, you're talking about buying from one of the largest new car inventories in the entire Midwest. How about this car right here? Brand new. 1983 Chevrolet Citation. Look at that price right there. $6,988. Now, at 9.9% APR, what do? You bring me $49 down and drive it home. $179 a month. Let's pick the phone. Let's give us a call, or we'll see you here.
An ounce of gold, an ounce of zinc. Which is more important for your good health? Zinc, more precious than gold for good health. Z-Bec is rich in zinc, a mineral essential to bones and red blood cells, plus 6 B-complex vitamins and vitamin C, vitamins your body can't store, plus vitamin E. To make sure you get enough zinc and vitamins in your diet, get Z-Bec, rich in zinc, more precious than gold for good health. Official sponsor of the 1984 U.S. Olympic team.
Nowadays, Comdate's computer dating service makes meeting that special person of the opposite sex easier than ever. With Comdate, you'll normally meet at least 2 new people each month. Join Comdates today, and you can be dating new people next week. A 1-year membership is only $30. Call 333-8088. Find out how Comdate's computer dating service gets you together with the opposite sex. Comdates will be glad to send you a free, no-obligation brochure. Call 333-8088 now, or check your Minneapolis-St. Paul white pages for computer dating service.
Blessedly, the news of the day is now safely behind us. Time to look the other way now over the year just past. To think about the important issues we have wrestled with, some would say throttled on the cutting edge of television. Especially here, our most fearless department. From the files, an early favorite. It wasn't ready for prime time last October, and it still isn't. None of the facts or names have been changed because all involved are delightfully innocent. Correspondent Neil Davis reported this one from Thailand.
This man is one of Thailand's best-known public figures and one of the most popular. His name is Michai Viravaijaya, the director of Thailand's highly successful family planning program. 10 years ago, Thailand faced a population explosion of overwhelming proportions. Michai accepted the challenge to curb the growth rate, and he took his message and help to the poor people of Thailand.
Officially, will be open on Monday, a special program for children and family planning. If you can bring your father in for sterilization, you get a special savings account opened by us.
Michai doesn't restrict his activities to speech-making. He draws the people of Thailand into the campaign, and he makes it fun to participate.
Love is a many splendid thing. It's the April rose that only grows in the early spring.
Kun Michai is known among the Thai people by another name, isn't he?
Yes, everybody called him Mr. Condom.
Mr. Condom. Why do they call Kun Michai Mr. Condom?
Because whenever he goes to explain or demonstrate about family planning, he always use condoms for a game. Yeah.
Love is nature's way of giving a reason
Michai has explained to the villagers in the rural areas that his special blooms can also be used as a very light and effective water carrier and a cheap toy for the children. In a nearby tent, a team of Michai's doctors and nurses will try to break the world record for the number of vasectomies performed in one day at a single location. An added attraction is that it's free. The operation is explained in simple terms by young women from the Family Planning Communications Center. Thai men find it easier to talk to these friendly girls in an informal atmosphere rather than face what to them is the sometimes intimidating presence of highly educated doctors. Michai moves casually through the tent, chatting to the volunteers. They prefer the togetherness, the proximity of their friends on the adjacent makeshift operating tables. It fits in with the community spirit and close relations they enjoy with their neighbors in normal village life. Michai has convinced his fellow citizens that the ideal family for Thailand is 2 children.
As a whole in Thailand, in the last 10 years, the population growth rate has come down from 3.3 to 1.8. So it's the fastest population growth decline in the world. And it's because the people are willing and the providers are happy.
Each vasectomy took about 7 minutes, and Michai's medical team managed a total of nearly 700 for the day. Yes, a new world record. Neil Davis, NBC News, Bangkok.
Psychic Jean Dixon's latest predictions in this week's Star.
I see danger for Charles and Di, a family edition for Jerry, and more sadness for Joan.
Also in the Star, how death threats have forced Farrah to be guarded day and night. And 10 easy exercises to give you firmer, younger-looking skin. Plus, the untold story of legendary lover William Holden, from his secret weekends with Grace to his romance with Stephanie Powers that was torn apart by booze. Pick up the Star this week.
And get my latest predictions.
Wrapped the gift yet? No, my arthritis is acting up and I'm out of aspirin.
Oh, take my Bufferin. Plain aspirin's smart, but it can upset your stomach. Taking Bufferin for minor arthritis pain is smarter. Some stomachs can be delicate, like fine china, and plain aspirin can upset them. Bufferin has aspirin doctors recommend most for hours of relief, plus special buffers that help protect against stomach upset. How do you feel now? A lot smarter.
Bufferin is smarter for arthritis, also in extra strength.
Just a little while ago, there I was. Car full of buddies, cruising, radio blasting, a little drinking, you know. Well, that was a little while ago. Nobody wants to be around for the music I gotta face now. Worse than that even. Dad's car. Drinking and driving. Me. Stupid. Hi, Dad.
Play it smart. Don't drink and drive.
You can say the ballet is my life, so keeping healthy is important to me. When I'm not feeling well and I need medicine, I make sure I get the right information. When I take a non-prescription medicine, I read the label first and follow directions carefully. If it's a prescription, I make sure I understand the doctor's instructions. I have to. My good health and my career begin with me.
There will be no scores on a roll tonight, and that is because no Major League Baseball games were played Tuesday. That, in case you just arrived from Tibet and do not know, is because the National and American League All-Star game will be played later, Wednesday night in Chicago. The National League has won the last 11 All-Star games, 19 of the last 20, in fact, and so the suspense is building up. Comiskey Park, this is where the first All-Star game was played 50 years ago. In honor of that occasion, the second annual Old Timers All-Star game with some of the original All-Stars. And among the stars, Joe DiMaggio looking venerable, Mrs. Robinson, venerable. The old-timers creaked a bit on the field, but it was good just seeing the old heroes out there on the base paths. And then the youngsters took over the field, warming up for the real All-Star game later tonight.
Bruce Kidd, a Canadian runner, argued that we in America should stop preaching about sport's moral values. Sport, after all, isn't Lent, he said. It's a pleasure of the flesh. Indeed. The moral values to be found in this past year of sport, we leave to someone else, anyone else. The production and editing of this we left to Neil Davis and Jennifer Stearns. We shall stick with the pleasure of the flesh.
A manager always suffers. A manager has to suffer. If a manager don't suffer, then he's not managing.
Their heads high, that they're a great bunch of guys. They're a great ball club, and as far as I'm concerned, they're all champions.
After a year on the air, I can still make such stupid mistakes. That piece was produced by Neil Baker and not Neil Davis, who, for all I know, is still in Thailand.
You pick out a brand new truck of your choice and you drive it home today with only $49. Well, you're talking about the giant Viking Chevrolet, Minnesota's finest in Fridley. How about this truck? Brand new, 1983 Chevrolet S10 pickup. What do? At 9.9% APR, you bring me $49 down, you drive it home today, $179 a month. Well, see you here.
California, here you come. From $249 round trip, ITA Vacations announces the lowest price scheduled service to Los Angeles, San Francisco, or San Diego on Northwest 747 daily departures. Don't stay home this summer and watch movies. Go out to Hollywood and watch the movies being made. Our low prices mean that the whole family can enjoy a California summer, and our special fare lets you fly into one city and return from another for just a little bit extra. See your travel agent today and ask for California via ITA Vacations.
New England, California, Nova Scotia, the Ozarks. Join holiday travel on a relaxing fall motor coach tour and enjoy the most beautiful scenery in North America.
For a free color catalog on more than 40 different holiday tours direct from the Twin Cities, contact Holiday Travel in Roseville at 633-1122.
An ounce of gold, an ounce of zinc. Which is more important for your good health? Zinc, more precious than gold for good health. Z-Bec is rich in zinc, a mineral essential to bones and red blood cells, plus 6 B-complex vitamins and vitamin C, vitamins your body can't store, plus vitamin E. To make sure you get enough zinc and vitamins in your diet, get Z-Bec, rich in zinc, more precious than gold for good health. Official sponsor of the 1984 U.S. Olympic team.
The war in Lebanon began one day shy of a month before Overnight went on the air. Coverage of it has accounted for considerable of what we've broadcast, especially here in this segment where we stop to look more closely at major stories. One story which none of us has forgotten we're about to see again. It is a photo essay about that war. It was put together by NBC editor Jim Byrne. It is thoughtful and controversial. It caused us to think hard about the roots of the conflict, of a nation surrounded and under continuing guerrilla attack that can ill afford risk, and of the consequences of that a war begun for whatever reason cannot be perfectly controlled, nor can the innocent escape. These are difficult questions worth returning to. Our story begins where the war began, in London, with the assassination attempt upon the Israeli ambassador.
An attack about an ambassador is an assault upon the state, the majesty of the republic. So we had to prove that in our time, in the generation of Holocaust and redemption, never again will Jewish blood be shed, with those shedding it enjoying impunity. Therefore, lastly, Saturday night, 11 o'clock at night, at the clandestine session of the cabinet, the decision was taken to put an end to such an intolerable situation and prove to those who boasted about the destruction of the Jewish state that the destroyers will be destroyed and the Jewish state will live forever. We, the Jews, decided not to be killed and murdered anymore. There is one place for me to go, to Palestine. No doubt, and nothing else.
haven't seen you here for a while.
Well, now that I've got direct deposit, my Social Security goes straight to my account. So I don't have to come over here anymore unless I want to. And I'm earning all the interest that I've got coming.
Then how can I help you?
Well, Miss Roberts, there's more than one kind of interest.
Ask for direct deposit wherever you have a checking or savings account. It's free. And after all, you've got it coming.
The President of the United States.
We've always looked to the Red Cross in times of disaster, but today the Red Cross is facing a crisis of its own. In the past year, floods, storms, earthquakes, and mudslides have struck various parts of our country. Relief operations have wiped out disaster funds, but the Red Cross must be ready to meet the next disaster. So I urge all of you to contribute today to their Emergency Disaster Relief Fund. Thanks for helping.
All across America, there are bright kids who have trouble learning, making school a problem. These kids have learning disabilities, often the problems as simple as seeing letters and numbers reversed or in the wrong order. If nobody recognizes this problem, it can make every word a stumbling block, every school day a disappointment. These kids can overcome this problem and grow up the bright kids they really are. Write to the Foundation for Children with Learning Disabilities for information about special programs. If this is how you saw school, you'd hate it too.
You can say the ballet is my life, so keeping healthy is important to me. When I'm not feeling well and I need medicine, I make sure I get the right information. When I take a non-prescription medicine, I read the label first and follow directions carefully. If it's a prescription, I make sure I understand the doctor's instructions. I have to. My good health and my career begin with me.
Think of it in terms of pairs. There were Chuck and Di, the Shake and the Shaker, Liz and Dick on stage, Mr. and Mrs. Pulitzer and others, Steinbrenner and Martin, Jim Watt and the Beach Boys, Wilbur and Iggy. On the possibility that Wilbur and Iggy are the most human of the lot, we'll go with them. Iggy came from Lee Carter at KING in Seattle. Wilbur came from Dave Crawley of WMTV in Madison, Wisconsin. Begin with the turkey.
We see pictures of them every year around Thanksgiving time. Ah, but once in a lifetime, there comes a gobbler who breaks the mold. This is Wilbur.
He gets near 2 miles and he starts tiring out.
Wilbur joined Bob, Queenie, and the rest of the family, and it's been a mutual love affair.
Come on. I can't visualize having a turkey on the dinner plate. I was thinking of having ham because I don't think I'll ever jog with a pig.
Iggy is a gift to the Hessers from a pig farmer friend. You see, Iggy has a hernia that prevents him from competing at his mother's dinner table against his brother and sister piglets. Admittedly, Bob is a sucker for small, helpless critters. The calf, Fred the dachshund, and Iggy the piggy are friends. They're free to roam the barnyard like small children. But Iggy sometimes goes a little too far.
He's pretty independent. He hassles the dogs and fights them for their beds.
The Hessers' other pigs will soon be spare ribs, but Iggy, probably not. After all, he's now part of a human family.
Those are the superstars, but let's not forget the rest of overnight's stock company. The engaging ingenues, the grizzled veterans, the love interests, the heavies. I speak of the superior players who've done the bit parts in this department over the past year. Time now for some cameo appearances. The envelope, please. The list inside was compiled by editor Deanna Rios of our Burbank Bureau.
Air Force.
The exciting world of the professional hairstylist. It can be yours and fast. Here's the first step. Call us today to find out how we apply the proven scientific educational systems created by Reagan Laboratories. We'll train you in today's most advanced techniques, techniques that will send you to the top of the styling profession. Success is waiting for you, so call now.
All Reagan SES systems are available at Model College of Hair Design in St. Cloud, Minnesota. Model College of Hair Design's graduates last year had the finest scholastic record in the state of Minnesota. Financial aid programs and Earn While You Learn programs are available. Model College of Hair Design has college housing available on or off campus. Our free catalogs show the difference in beauty colleges. Write, call, or better yet, visit the college now. Model College of Hair Design, 201 8th Avenue South, St. Cloud, Minnesota, 56301. Or call 1-612-253-4222. Call now.
Here are the top stories. The briefing book mystery thickened. CIA Director William Casey, who was the president's campaign director, said it was, quote, incredible for him to have obtained the stolen Carter debate plan and that he did not. That differed directly with the recollection of White House Chief of Staff James Baker, who has said he got the book from Casey. On Tuesday, the president spoke to the members of the American Federation of Teachers. Some walked out. The union said it would not support the president for re-election.
In these items, Britain's independent television network reported Tuesday that the bomb that wrecked the U.S. Embassy in Beirut last April was aimed at a CIA meeting. The report said the explosion was planned by Islamic extremists working in the building and timed to disrupt a CIA session in progress. The State Department has previously denied reports that it was an inside job. The latest story was attributed to diplomatic and intelligence sources. And I seem to have moved the town of Overland Park 2 states to the right. I said it was in Illinois. It is, in fact, in Kansas, and it was all along. Tuesday's weather occurred as scheduled. It lasted 24 hours. Wednesday's is expected to do likewise. The forecast says many of those hours will be taken up with showers and thunder showers along the Atlantic and Gulf coasts from the northern plateau to the Pacific coast.
This is what the anchorman said in the movie Network. We know the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. I don't know if that's the way it's supposed to be. I hope not, but I don't know. What follows is a rerun, the last one. All the pictures come from stories that were on overnight. It was put together by senior producer Cheryl Gould and videotape editor Maddie Powers to make us feel good last New Year's Eve. It did, so here it is again. Consider this, perhaps, the way things are supposed to be.
So overnight is 1 year old. We have one question left to answer. Why are we telling you this? Sure, we're pleased and proud, but there's more. Too often in our business, the rule is the smoother, the better. So TV looks much the same all over the country. Consultants advise, scripts seem like the products of cookie cutters, control is held tight, and broadcasts are flat. A kind of light news prevails. Watch all you want, you won't get filled up. We are many things. Flat isn't one of them. And part of the primetime schedule isn't another. But we have done fine, thank you. And I take that as evidence that what many people want is something other than most of what's out there. Small consolation, you say, for these hours? Perhaps. But considerable satisfaction, and maybe even a step in the right direction.
Are we bragging? Probably. Should we be? Probably not. This is brain surgery this is not brain surgery we're talking about. This is television. And we've said enough about it right now. However, I would like to point out that we have been lucky since the beginning when the network explained that we would have no money. I was on the wrong camera. I've only been doing this a year. They told us we would have no money. Well, damn little. We had an hour to fill, and we had a group of people willing to play a different game. Nothing else. But as old Luke used to say, sometimes nothing is a real cool hand, especially with the group of people we had working on this program and a little old stuffed yeller duck. And so it goes, and here is how.
getting to get in.